about the helicopter crash that occurred yesterday, Wednesday, where 8 lives were tragically lost. Now, here's what we know so far today. A wreath-laying ceremony as well as a candlelight ceremony was held at the Jubilee House, where the president and other government officials laid wreaths for the fallen soldiers. We also know that a forensic audit has begun at the crash site in the Ashanti region. Also, the bodies have been sent to South Africa for advanced forensic testing. I'm not doing this alone. We're going to have a small discussion here while we await the president's address to us to tell us details so far and you know, his first address to the nation after this tragic loss. Joining me for this discussion is my colleague, Hansen Ajamine. He's also our correspondent at the courts. Hansen, how are you doing?
Fine.
How are you holding up?
Well, we're trying. I mean, it was a difficult one. I don't think I was alone. It was difficult sleeping yesterday. From time to time, you catch glimpse of the information and you wonder if indeed this is true. And because we usually would deal with some of these persons either virtually or in person.
You had any close relationship with anyone?
Well, I know for Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, I'd been contacting him for interviews, and he's usually open when, you know, as a journalist and as a producer, you're always okay with personalities who are willing to grant you an interview, and even if they cannot, they will respectfully decline. And for Dr. Edward Omanibuama, I had seen his work closely at IPAC, having reported in the 2024 general election, closely reporting on the institution of the Electoral Commission. And unfortunately, 2 of the crew members are former schoolmates.
Wow.
Even though we are apart in years, but I mean, I recognize that they are former schoolmates, and particularly one of them actually had gone to the US recently, and he had gone to see our rector, Fadebo, who actually, so for a number of us who had gone to St. James for the past 15, 20 years.
Right.
He's been there for that long, and he was a very disciplinarian guy, but somebody who added a touch of love to it. So when he went to the United States of America, after Fadebo retired, he left to the US. And so when he went to US, he went to visit Fadebo and took a picture with Fadebo, posted it on our old school platform. And so it was an interesting one. Everybody loved to have seen Fadebo again, and just some few days after to hear of the sudden demise. And so from time to time yesterday in the evening or in the night, it kept hitting me, and I can only imagine what families are going through, and those who actually are directly linked to these people are going through. And for President John Dramani Mahama, of course,
today was the first time we all saw him since the incident, and you could see that he was visibly shaken.
Go back and review the footage of the 2024 election when Dr. Omanibuama was showing him the results on that screen. And you could not only see the happiness that he was winning the election, but you could see the sort of pride he had and how proud he was of Dr. Omanibuama. I mean, this is a young man to invest your entire architecture. I mean, you're going for election for the 3rd time, and then there are those who say that you cannot win, and that Ghanaians have perpetually rejected you. And a key person who is in charge of your election process is this young. It tells of the sort of confidence that the President, John Mahama, reposed in Dr. Omanibuama. And I'm sure he had, and usually when you work with people like John Mahama, and they see the good in you, and they see that potential.
Right.
It will help you to also build a path on how you can be great yourself and how you can help them. And so it was not surprising that while Dr. Maniboma was doing these IT stuff, election stuff, everybody says, I'm a medical doctor doing all these things. It was at the Kofi Annan training school, learning about the security, intelligence, meaning that, I mean, all had been plotted somewhere that, young man, take this. Because I mean, when it comes to defense, you need to be, to give it to somebody you trust.
Exactly.
And so I'm sure the president and Maniboma himself might have looked at the situation and said, I mean, this is a field that can prosper within. And so let me start learning the rudiments in it. And I mean, the president did not disappoint. And it was one of the early appointments that we saw.
One of the very first
ones. When the president says he's going to appoint 60, no more than 60 ministers, and you're part of the earliest of appointments, it tells you the sort of confidence. And so when we heard the news that the president was in a condition that he readily could not speak. Yesterday, when it happened, I'd gone for a report at the NPP headquarters where Engineer Kwabena Japan, his team had come to pick the forms. And so when we heard the news, after everything, we decided to rush back to the office. Back to the office, I was just saying that I don't think that the president can address, but if the president could, he was the best person to do it. But if not, the chief of staff should do it. Yeah. The chief of staff came, did a good job.
Very brief.
Gave us the information that we were waiting for, because the sort of pictures that we had seen,
and
even though at that time,
on,
because
radio and all
of being careful and making sure that you don't go ahead of official news, we knew that it was difficult for anybody to have survived in such a crash. And so what everybody was waiting for was who were involved. And luckily, were there any survivors? Unfortunately, we didn't have that. And so when the chief of staff came in, that was the most important thing he was supposed to do. He didn't influence, he went straight
to the point.
Do it.
Exactly.
But the entire country is stricken with grief. And so we need a leader now than ever. And so President John Dramani Mahama, I mean, I was making this point in the newsroom this afternoon, that he needs to speak to the nation. Because, I mean, we are all downhearted. There are young people who are wondering, why do I go through all these? Why should I go to school? Why should I struggle if this is what life is all about? There are people who think that all these struggles are not worth it, even though we understand that, yes, that will eventually catch up with everyone. The manner in which this death occurred, it's like that people cannot come to an understanding. And so at this point in time, we need a leader more than we've ever needed.
And we're all waiting to hear what
so we're waiting to hear what the president will say. Unfortunately, but of course, he is in a better position than anybody.
Definitely.
I mean, he was a vice president when the first, when President Atom Milstein died. And so he's had experience. I mean, these are very terrible experiences for one person to have. But he stands in a better position to lead us out of this than any other person. When President Mills died, we had not experienced anything like that before.
Hanson, let's come back to the death of the 8 persons and talk about the their bodies being taken to South Africa for a comprehensive forensic DNA testing. How when we all saw the flights moving towards, and probably got given to us by Ibrahim Mahama, the president's brother. They used his plane to transport the bodies. What kind of, what's the expectation? What are we supposed to expect? They said after 6 hours to 12 hours, we should get the information. So tell us about, forensic, that particular forensic order that they intend to take on those bodies.
I mean, the situation is such that you need to identify each body.
They were burnt beyond recognition.
And some of them were burnt beyond recognition.
Exactly.
Even if not, they had no form of identification of them. You couldn't even see any form of cloth there to say that, oh, this is the picture they took, or this is what he was wearing before he left.
Right.
And so, and these are, I mean, look the caliber of persons involved. And so it is important that this DNA is done. At least I think that one main focus is to be able to identify the individuals.
All right, let's go to the presidency now and join that feed where President Mahama is about to address the nation.
Good evening, my fellow countrymen and women. It is with a profoundly heavy heart that I address you tonight. Yesterday, a tragic helicopter crash in Adansia Krofom claimed the lives of 8 cherished members of our Ghanaian family. The victims of this accident include 5 passengers and 3 dedicated members of the Ghana Armed Forces. Among them were Dr. Edward Kofi Omaniboama, Minister for Defense; Alhaji Dr. Murtala Mohammed, Member of Parliament for Tamale Central and Minister for Environment, Science and Technology; Alhaji Muniru Mohammed Limuna, Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator; Samuel Sapol, Vice Chairman of the National Democratic Congress; Samuel Abuaje, Deputy Director General of NADMO; and Squadron Leader Peter Anala of the Ghana Air Force, Flying Officer Chum Ampedu of the Ghana Air Force, and Sergeant Ernest Ado, also of the Ghana Air Force. This tragedy represents a deep personal loss for me. I shared a close bond with many of those individuals who died. Our nation is grieving, and on behalf of the government and the people of Ghana, I extend my deepest condolences to their families, friends, and their loved ones. Know that our entire country mourns with you. We share your pain. Your loss is our loss, a loss of dedicated public servants, intellectuals, and individuals who tirelessly worked for a better Ghana. These 8 individuals dedicated their lives to Ghana's progress. That their final moments were spent in service is a testament to their unwavering commitment. We have lost some of our nation's brightest minds, and this is a moment of shared heartbreak, a time to reflect on the preciousness of life, the sacrifices of public service, and our gratitude for those who dedicate themselves to the well-being of our fellow citizens. Squadron Leader Anala, Flying Officer Ampedu, and Sergeant Ado were dedicated members of our Air Force, embodying the best of their profession. Alhaji Muniru Mohammed Limuna was a humble yet effective public servant. Samuel Sapon was a respected statesman, and Mr. Samuel Abuaje was a promising young leader. Dr. Omaniboama was a brilliant and dedicated leader, and Alhaji Dr. Murtala Mohammed was a passionate voice for his constituents and a champion for environmental stewardship. These gallant men each served Ghana with distinction. And as we mourn, questions about the cause of this tragedy are only natural and important. And I want to assure the families and the nation that the Ghana Armed Forces has initiated a full and transparent investigation into the circumstances of this crash. An investigative board of inquiry has been set up to investigate the cause of the crash. The flight data and cockpit voice recorders have both been retrieved. All 8 of the bodies of our departed comrades have been retrieved, and the government is in close touch with the bereaved families about identification of the bodies and final interment. In this moment of national grief, let us remember that we are above all Ghanaians, united not just by our nationality, but by our shared hope, our shared humanity, and now our shared sorrow. Let us set aside our differences and offer our collective compassion to the bereaved families. This is not a time for division, speculation, or political point scoring. It is a time for strength, for empathy, and for the enduring Ghanaian spirit that still stands tall when all else has failed. Let our words be of comfort, our actions be of kindness, and our unity be the tribute we offer to those whose lives have been lost. To the families, to the Ghana Armed Forces, to the ministries and departments that have lost dedicated staff, and to the National Democratic Congress, which mourns the passing of valued members, may you find strength in their memory and their legacy. May we all be comforted by the knowledge that though they are gone from our sight, they remain forever in the spirit of the nation they so faithfully served. On Saturday, 9th August at 5 p.m., the nation will gather at the forecourt of the State House for an evening of reflection and memorial in honor of our departed colleagues. Books of condolences will be opened simultaneously at the Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ghana Armed Forces headquarters, and the National Democratic Congress headquarters, and also the head office of NADMO from Sunday, 10th August to Thursday, 14th August. On Friday, 15th August, an interdenominational state funeral will be held for the 8 heroes at the Black Star Square. My brothers and sisters, my fellow countrymen and women, may God bless their souls, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Right, that was President Mahama's address. A number of key things that he mentioned was that the black box has been retrieved from the site of the helicopter crash. He also mentioned that this is a time for strength and empathy as Ghanaians. He mentioned that tomorrow, Friday, the 8th of August, there will be an interdenominational church service, which will be held at the forecourt of the State House, and all are invited. He also mentioned that a book of condolence will be open at the various ministries so that you can pass by and express your grief in that. Also on Saturday, the 9th of August at 5 p.m. at the forecourt of the State House, there will be an evening of reflection for these 8 fallen heroes. He mentioned the forensic order that they've sent the bodies to South Africa for, and you were talking a bit about that.
Yeah, so I was saying that the main focus is for identification. Of course, we know that they were sent by the airplane owned by Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. Again, information that we're picking up is that he's taking care of the cost for the forensic audit. And I mean, it's a very important step. And at this point in time, the state will need that sort of support that all Ghanaians who can offer to the state. And the information that we're picking is that Mr. Ibrahim Mahama is taking care of this particular cost of the forensic DNA. Not only that, his airline, as we saw in the visuals, also transported the team and the remains to South Africa.
Definitely.
But the speech by the president.
Yes, I touch on that a little.
He said the most important thing, that this is a time for empathy. And you know, there's a difference between being empathetic and then just feeling pity for someone.
Right.
Being empathetic will mean that put yourself in their shoe, or regardless of the circumstances.
Or even your
is it right?
Colors. Yeah.
Is it fair? So, and that's why the president will say, this is not the time for political points. And I think that's the central theme we need to pick from the statement today, that we need to be empathetic, that these 8 persons have families, they have wives, they have mothers, they have children. I mean, Dr. Maneboma is an only child.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about that before you decide to score political points out of this.
Thank you very much, Hansen. It's been a pleasure having you here. Let me touch on what the president said briefly again. Friday the 8th, there will be an interdenominational church service which will be held at the forecourt of the State House. A book of condolence will be open at the various ministries. You can go there. You can sign that book of condolence. Saturday, the 9th of August at exactly 5 p.m. at the forecourt of the State House, there will be an evening of reflection for these fallen soldiers. Now, we here at Channel One TV have put together a documentary capturing everything that has happened so far till date. And we'll be showing that immediately after this. I am Eno Safo. Thanks for watching.
August 6, 2025.